The day Earth changed forever started like any other. People went about their lives, unaware of the cosmic drama about to unfold. As the sun rose over New York City, a strange shadow fell across the sky. It wasn't a cloud or a solar eclipse. It was something much, much bigger. High above Earth's atmosphere, a massive spaceship appeared. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen before. The ship was so large it covered half the sky over North America. Its surface gleamed with an otherworldly metal, reflecting the sun's rays in dazzling patterns. Around the world, people stopped and stared. Traffic came to a halt. TV broadcasts were interrupted. Social media exploded with photos and videos of the alien vessel. Panic began to spread as reality sank in. Earth was no longer alone in the universe. In Washington, D.C., President Sarah Chen received an urgent call. "Madam President," her aide said, voice shaking, "you need to see this." She rushed to the Situation Room, where military leaders and scientists were already gathered. The room was tense, filled with worried whispers and nervous glances. Suddenly, every screen in the room flickered to life. A face appeared, but it wasn't human. The alien had blue skin, large eyes, and no visible mouth. When it spoke, its words echoed directly in their minds. "People of Earth," the alien said, its mental voice cold and commanding. "We are the Galactic Empire. Your planet now stands at a crossroads. Join us and benefit from our advanced civilization. Refuse and face destruction. You have 24 hours to decide." The transmission ended, leaving the room in stunned silence. President Chen looked around at her advisors, seeing fear and confusion on every face. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenge ahead. "Get me every world leader on a secure line," she ordered. "And I want our top scientists and military strategists here within the hour. We need options, and we need them fast." As word of the ultimatum spread, Earth fell into chaos. Some people panicked, rushing to stock up on supplies or flee to remote areas. Others gathered in churches, mosques, and temples, praying for salvation. Still others celebrated in the streets, believing the aliens would usher in a new age of prosperity. In secret facilities around the world, military forces went on high alert. Nuclear silos were unlocked, fighter jets scrambled, and naval fleets mobilized. But everyone knew their most advanced weapons would be like toys compared to the alien technology. Meanwhile, in a hidden bunker deep beneath the Swiss Alps, an emergency meeting of world leaders convened. President Chen addressed the group, her face grim but determined. "We face a threat unlike any in human history," she said. "This galactic empire offers us a simple choice: submit or be destroyed. But I say we have a third option. We fight." Murmurs rippled through the room. Some leaders nodded in agreement, while others looked skeptical. "Fight?" the German chancellor asked. "With what? Our most advanced technology is nothing compared to theirs." President Chen smiled. "That's what they think. But we have a secret weapon they know nothing about." She nodded to a scientist standing nearby. Dr. Yuki Tanaka stepped forward, her eyes shining with excitement despite the grim situation. "For the past decade," Dr. Tanaka explained, "a secret global consortium has been developing technology far beyond what the public knows. We have AI-enhanced defense systems that can predict and counter any attack, quantum weapons capable of disrupting their ship's energy fields. And that's just the beginning." The room buzzed with a new energy. Hope began to replace fear in the eyes of the world leaders. "We've kept these advances hidden," President Chen continued, "preparing for a day we hoped would never come. But now, faced with this threat, we have a chance not just to defend ourselves, but to show this empire that humanity is not to be underestimated." She looked around the room, meeting each leader's gaze. "The choice before us is clear. Do we bow to this empire, giving up everything that makes us human? Or do we stand and fight, not just for our freedom, but for our very identity as a species?" One by one, the leaders nodded. The decision was unanimous. Earth would not surrender. It would not join the Empire. Instead, it would do something the aliens never expected. Earth would fight back. As the meeting concluded, President Chen looked out a small window at the star-filled sky. Somewhere up there, the Empire waited for their answer. They had no idea what was coming. "Get ready," she whispered to herself, a determined smile on her face. "Earth is about to surprise you." As the 24-hour deadline approached, Earth buzzed with activity. In secret bases around the world, scientists and engineers worked nonstop, preparing humanity's hidden weapons for the coming battle. Dr. Tanaka stood in a vast underground lab, surrounded by strange machines and glowing screens. She watched as technicians loaded a tiny chip into what looked like a normal satellite. "This A defense system," she explained to President Chen, who stood nearby, "can think 1,000,000 times faster than any human. It will coordinate all our defenses, predicting the Empire's moves before they make them." The president nodded, her face a mix of worry and hope. "And the quantum weapons." Dr. Tanaka led her to another part of the lab. Here, a group of scientists huddled around a device no bigger than a microwave. But inside, swirling patterns of light hinted at incredible power. "This," Dr. Tanaka said with pride, "can disrupt the energy fields of their ships. It's like turning off a light switch, but the light is their engines and weapons." As they talked, similar scenes played out in hidden facilities across the globe. In the Australian outback, a team tested force fields that could withstand incredible heat and force. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, biologists put the finishing touches on a virus designed to infect and shut down alien computer systems. But it wasn't just the secret weapons that were being prepared. Around the world, people were getting ready too. In New York City, Sarah, a young office worker, kissed her parents goodbye. "I'm joining the emergency response team," she told them. "Someone needs to help keep people safe if the aliens attack." In a small village in Kenya, Amani, a teacher, gathered his students. "No matter what happens," he said, "remember that we are strong when we stand together." Even in space, humans prepared. On the International Space Station, astronauts worked quickly to hide the true extent of Earth's space capabilities. They knew that soon, they might be the first line of defense against the alien fleet. As the final hour approached, world leaders gathered once more. This time, they met in a fortified bunker beneath London. The mood was tense but determined. "The Empire expects us to either surrender or face them with outdated technology," President Chen said. "They're in for a big surprise." The British Prime Minister nodded. "Our people are ready. They may not know about our secret defenses, but they know the spirit of humanity. We will not go quietly." Just then, an aide rushed in. "Madam President," he said, breathless, "the Empire is broadcasting again. They're demanding our answer." The room fell silent. This was the moment they had prepared for. President Chen took a deep breath and stepped up to the communication device. The alien face appeared on the screen, its large eyes blinking slowly. "Humans," it said in that strange mental voice, "your time is up. What is your decision?" President Chen stood tall, her voice firm. "We, the people of Earth, have made our choice. We will not join your empire. We will not surrender our freedom or our identity." The alien's eyes narrowed. "You choose destruction, then. You have no idea of the power you face." A small smile played on the president's lips. "Perhaps," she said, "it is you who have no idea what you're facing. Earth is our home. We will defend it. Your empire is not welcome here." For a moment, the alien seemed taken aback. Then its mental voice boomed with anger. "So be it. Prepare for your end, humans." The transmission cut off. In the silence that followed, everyone in the room knew that history had just been made. Humanity had stood up to the greatest power in the galaxy. President Chen turned to the others. "And now," she said, "we show them what humans can really do." Around the world, hidden weapons powered up. Defensive shields shimmered into existence around major cities. In orbit, satellites transformed, revealing advanced weaponry. As the first wave of Empire ships entered Earth's atmosphere, they found not a helpless planet, but a world armed and ready. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The sky burned. Alien ships, sleek and deadly, poured through Earth's atmosphere. Their weapons glowed, ready to unleash destruction. But Earth was not the easy target they expected. As the first shots fired from the Empire's fleet, something extraordinary happened. The energy beams simply vanished, absorbed by an invisible shield. The aliens paused, confused. In the secret command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Tanaka allowed herself a small smile. "The quantum shields are working," she said to President Chen. "They can't touch us." But Earth wasn't just defending. Hidden satellites suddenly came to life, firing precise beams of energy. Where they hit, alien ships stuttered and fell, their systems scrambled by Earth's advanced technology. "It's working," shouted a young technician, his eyes glued to the screens showing the battle. "We're actually winning." President Chen nodded, but her face remained serious. "This is just the first wave," she warned. "The real test is yet to come." She was right. As news of the initial failure spread through the Empire's fleet, their tactics changed. Hundreds, then thousands more ships appeared. They filled the sky, blocking out the sun. "My God," whispered someone in the command center. For a moment, fear threatened to overwhelm them all. Then a voice crackled over the communication system. It was Sarah, the office worker turned emergency responder, calling from New York. "We can see them all over the sky," she said, her voice shaky but determined. "But we're not giving up. The whole city is working together. We'll face this, whatever comes." Similar reports flooded in from around the world. In Kenya, Amani and his students joined with their neighbors, forming human chains to distribute supplies and information. In Tokyo, elderly citizens worked alongside teenagers, converting underground stations into shelters. Everywhere, humanity stood united. Inspired by these reports, the team in the command center redoubled their efforts. Dr. Tanaka's fingers flew over her keyboard, adjusting the AI defenses to counter the Empire's new tactics. The battle raged on. Alien ships fell from the sky, but more kept coming. Earth's defenses held, but for how long? Hours passed, then days. The whole world held its breath. On the fifth day, something changed. The Empire's attacks became desperate, uncoordinated. In the command center, the AI system blinked a surprising message. "Enemy communications disrupted." "The virus," Dr. Tanaka exclaimed. "The one we developed in the Amazon. It must have infected their systems." As they watched, more and more enemy ships began to drift aimlessly. Some crashed into each other, while others retreated in disarray. In orbit, astronaut Commander Lee watched from the hidden Earth fleet. "They're running," he reported, disbelief in his voice. "The Empire is actually retreating." A cheer went up in the command center. People hugged each other, crying with relief. But President Chen raised her hand for silence. "This isn't over," she said firmly. "We've won the battle, but not the war. The Empire will be back, and they'll be angry." She turned to Dr. Tanaka. "How soon can we take the fight to them? It's time Earth stopped hiding." Dr. Tanaka nodded, understanding the plan. "The long-range ships are ready. We can launch within 24 hours. President Chen faced the room, her eyes blazing with determination. "Then let's do it. We've defended our home. Now we show the Empire that humanity is a force to be reckoned with." As the orders went out, a new energy filled the air. Earth had faced its greatest threat and survived. Now, it was preparing to step onto the galactic stage. In cities around the world, people emerged from shelters, blinking in the sunlight. They looked up at the sky, once filled with enemy ships, now clear and blue. For the first time, they saw it not as a barrier, but as a road to the stars. Humanity had changed forever. The age of Earth was ending. The age of humanity as a galactic power was just beginning. And the Empire. They were about to learn that they had awakened a sleeping giant. Earth was coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. The stars looked different from here. Commander Jessica Lee stood on the bridge of the Earthship Defiant, Earth's first interstellar warship. Around her, a fleet of similar ships hung in the darkness of space, far from home. "Status report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension in the air. "All systems green." "Commander," her second-in-command replied. "The quantum drives are ready. We can jump to the Empire's home system on your command." Jessica nodded, thinking of the journey that had brought them here. It had been 3 months since Earth's victory against the Empire's invasion. 3 months of frantic preparation, as humanity took its first steps into the galaxy. Back on Earth, President Chen addressed the United Nations. "Today," she said, her voice broadcast to every corner of the planet, "we take the fight to the Empire. Not for revenge, but for peace. We will show them that Earth is not to be conquered, but we are ready to extend a hand in friendship if they choose to take it." As she spoke, the Earth fleet engaged their quantum drives. In a flash of light, they vanished from Earth's solar system, crossing vast distances in moments. In the Empire's home system, alarms blared. The Supreme Commander of the Imperial fleet stared in disbelief at the reports flooding in. "Impossible," he muttered. "How did they find us so quickly? How did they get here?" Before he could react, the Earth fleet appeared in a burst of energy. The Defiant led the charge, its advanced weapons already locked on the Empire's defenses. "This is Commander Jessica Lee of Earth." Her message boomed across all frequencies. "We come seeking peace, but we are prepared for war. The choice is yours." For a moment, silence reigned. Then, chaos erupted. Some Imperial ships opened fire immediately. Others hesitated, confused by the humans' advanced technology. The Earth fleet responded with precision, their quantum weapons disabling enemy ships without destroying them. On a distant planet in the system, a young alien named Zix watched the battle unfold in the sky. Unlike the rest of his people, he had always been fascinated by stories of other civilizations. Now, seeing the humans in action, he felt a spark of hope. "They're not like the Empire said," he whispered to himself. "They're not savages. They're amazing." As the battle raged on, something unexpected happened. A small group of Imperial ships broke off from the main fleet. Instead of attacking, they approached the Defiant with weapons powered down. "Commander," one of Jessica's officers called out, "we're receiving a transmission from those ships. They want to defect." Jessica's eyes widened. This was an opportunity they hadn't anticipated. "Open a channel," she ordered. The face that appeared on the screen was alien, but the emotion in its eyes was unmistakably hope. "I am Captain Krax of the Imperial Navy," the alien said. "Or rather, I was. My crew and I. We've seen enough. We want no part in this war. We ask for asylum." Back on Earth, in the hidden command center, Dr. Tanaka watched the events unfold with growing excitement. "Do you realize what this means?" she asked President Chen. "We're not just winning the war, we're changing minds. We're changing the galaxy." President Chen nodded, a small smile on her face. "This is what we hoped for, not just victory, but understanding." As news of the defections spread, more Imperial ships began to hesitate. The battle slowly ground to a halt, replaced by tense negotiations. In the Empire's Grand Palace, the Emperor raged at his advisors. How is this possible? They were primitives just months ago. But even as he spoke, he knew the truth. The age of the Empire was ending. A new power had arrived on the galactic stage. On the Defiant, Commander Lee opened a channel to Earth. "Madam President," she reported, her voice tired but proud. "I think it's time we discuss terms, not just with the Empire, but with our new allies." As the message reached Earth, cheers erupted in the command center. Humanity had not just survived, it had thrived. The galaxy would never be the same again. And somewhere in the vastness of space, Young Zix looked up at the stars with new eyes, dreaming of the day he might visit the planet called Earth. The grand hall of the imperial palace buzzed with tension. On one side stood the emperor and his loyal advisors, their faces grim. On the other, Earth's delegation, led by President Chen, stood tall and confident. Between them, representatives from a dozen alien races watched nervously. This was the day that would decide the fate of the galaxy. "You have no right to dictate terms to us," the emperor growled, his voice echoing through the hall. "We have ruled this galaxy for millennia." President Chen remained calm. "And perhaps that's the problem," she replied. "A galaxy is not meant to be ruled, but shared. We're not here to replace your empire with our own. We're here to propose something new, a galactic alliance." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The concept was radical, unheard of in the long history of the empire's rule. Meanwhile, far from the political debates, humanity's influence was already spreading. On a small trading outpost at the edge of the galaxy, Sarah, the former New York office worker, now worked as an Earth ambassador. She sat in a crowded alien bar, sharing stories with beings from a dozen different worlds. "So you're saying on Earth, anyone can choose their own path?" asked a tentacled alien, its eyes wide with wonder. Sarah nodded, smiling. "That's right. We believe in freedom and opportunity for all, and we think the whole galaxy could benefit from those ideas." As she spoke, more aliens gathered around, eager to hear about this strange world called Earth. Back in the Imperial Palace, the negotiations continued. Dr. Tanaka presented the technological advancements Earth was willing to share: clean energy, advanced medicine, faster-than-light communication. "But this is not a one-way exchange," she explained. "We have much to learn from all of you as well. Imagine what we could accomplish if we worked together, as equals." The emperor scoffed, but others in his court leaned forward, intrigued. Captain Krax, the defector who had sought asylum with Earth's fleet, stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice shaking slightly, "I've seen what the humans can do. Not just their technology, but their spirit. They offered mercy when they could have destroyed us. Isn't that the kind of strength we should align ourselves with?" As the debates raged on, Earth's influence continued to grow. On distant planets, humans worked alongside aliens, sharing knowledge and culture. In a research lab on a water world, Amani, the Kenyan teacher, collaborated with squid-like beings to develop new underwater farming techniques. "On Earth, we learned that diversity makes us stronger," he explained to his fascinated colleagues. "I think the same is true for the galaxy." And high above an alien world, Commander Lee and young Zix worked together on the bridge of a joint human-alien starship. "I never thought I'd see the day," Zix said, gazing out at the stars. "Humans and aliens working side by side as friends." Jessica smiled. "This is just the beginning," she replied. "There's a whole universe out there for us to explore together." As days turned to weeks, the tide of opinion in the Imperial Palace began to shift. More and more voices spoke up in favor of the Galactic Alliance. The Emperor, seeing his power slipping away, finally relented. "Very well," he said, his voice heavy with resignation. "We will consider this alliance." President Chen nodded, her eyes shining with hope. "Then let this be the first day of a new era. An era of cooperation, of shared progress, of peace." As she spoke, cheers erupted not just in the palace, but on thousands of worlds across the galaxy. The news spread faster than light. The age of the Empire was over. The age of the Galactic Alliance had begun. On Earth, people poured into the streets in celebration. Humans looked up at the night sky with new eyes, knowing that among those distant stars, they now had friends and allies. The galaxy had been transformed. And it all started because a small blue planet dared to say no to an empire and yes to a brighter future for all. As the celebrations continued, President Chen turned to Dr. Tanaka with a smile. "Well, Doctor," she said, "it looks like your hidden technologies didn't just save Earth. They might have just saved the galaxy. Dr. Tanaka nodded, her eyes on the stars visible through the palace windows. The real adventure, she replied, is only just beginning. 5 years had passed since the formation of the Galactic Alliance. The galaxy was a very different place now, filled with hope and opportunity. But not everyone was happy with the new order. On a distant planet called Xerax, a group of former Imperial loyalists gathered in secret. Their leader, a scared alien named Vex, addressed the crowd. "The Empire gave us order," he shouted. "Now, chaos reigns. These humans and their alliance have destroyed everything we built. It's time we took back what's ours." As Vex spoke, his followers cheered. They had been gathering weapons, building a secret fleet. Soon, they would strike and restore the old empire. But they weren't as secret as they thought. Millions of light years away, in the gleaming halls of the Alliance headquarters on Earth, alarms blared. Sarah, now the head of Alliance intelligence, rushed into the control room. "We've got a situation," she announced to President Chen, and the other leaders gathered there. "A rebellion is brewing. They're calling themselves the True Empire." The room fell silent. Then, to everyone's surprise, President Chen smiled. "Well," she said, "I guess it's time to show what this alliance can really do." Across the galaxy, the alliance sprang into action. But this wasn't the old empire's way of crushing rebellion. This was something new. On the planet Zor, Amani led a team of educators from a dozen different species. They set up schools and community centers, teaching people about the benefits of the alliance. "We're not here to force you to join us," Amani told a group of skeptical aliens. "We're here to show you why you might want to." Meanwhile, Dr. Tanaka and a mixed team of human and alien scientists worked on a new project. They called it the Harmony Network, a system that could detect and prevent conflicts before they even started. Imagine, Dr. Tanaka explained to a group of young aliens, a galaxy where we solve problems before they become wars. That's the future we're building. But the True Empire wasn't going to give up easily. They launched surprise attacks on several Alliance outposts. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how the Alliance would respond. Commander Lee, now Admiral of the Alliance fleet, faced a difficult decision. The old her might have launched a full-scale counterattack, but she had learned a lot in the past 5 years. "We're not going to fight fire with fire," she announced to her crew. "We're going to show them a better way." Instead of warships, the Alliance sent aid. They helped rebuild the damaged outposts, offered medical care to everyone, even the attackers. They showed mercy where the old empire would have shown only force. Slowly but surely, this approach began to work. More and more members of the True Empire began to question their leaders. Young Zix, now a respected diplomat, traveled to Xerax itself. He met with Vex and his followers, not with weapons, but with open arms. "I understand your fear," Zix told them. "Change is scary. But look at what we've built together. Is the old way really better?" As Zix spoke, many in the crowd began to nod. They had seen the benefits of the alliance. The freedom, the opportunities, the peace. Was it worth throwing all that away? Back on Earth, the alliance leaders watched and waited. President Chen paced nervously. "Do you think it will work?" she asked Sarah. Sarah smiled. 5 years ago, we showed the galaxy a new way to fight. Now, we're showing them a new way to make peace. I think that's even more powerful." Days passed. Then weeks. Finally, news came from Xerax. Vex and his followers had agreed to lay down their weapons. The True Empire was no more. As celebrations erupted across the galaxy, President Chen addressed the alliance. "Today, we faced our first real test," she said, "and we passed not through force, but through understanding. This is the true strength of our alliance." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. "We've proven that we can face any challenge, as long as we face it together. As her words echoed across the stars, billions of beings cheered. The galaxy had changed forever, and it all started because Earth dared to say no to an empire and yes to a brighter future for all. In the depths of space, Admiral Lee stood on the bridge of her ship, gazing out at the endless stars. "You know," she said to no one in particular, "I think the real adventure is only just beginning. And somewhere out there, in the vast expanse of the universe, new wonders and new challenges waited to be discovered." 20 years had passed since Earth first said no to the Galactic Empire. The universe had changed in ways no one could have imagined. And now, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. On the edge of known space, a massive anomaly appeared. It was like nothing anyone had ever seen, a swirling vortex of energy that defied all known laws of physics. In the Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Alliance, leaders from 100 worlds gathered. The room buzzed with nervous energy. Admiral Jessica Lee, her hair now streaked with gray, addressed the assembly. "Our long-range scans show the anomaly is expanding," she reported. "If it continues, it could threaten the entire galaxy within a year." Murmurs of fear rippled through the crowd. But then, a familiar voice spoke up. "Maybe this isn't just a threat," said Dr. Tanaka, now the head of the Alliance Science Division. "Maybe it's an opportunity." All eyes turned to the elderly scientist. Despite her age, her eyes still sparkled with the same curiosity that had helped save Earth so many years ago. "Think about it," she continued. "We've explored our galaxy. We've made peace among our peoples. What if this anomaly is a doorway to something new? A chance to explore beyond our wildest dreams?" The room fell silent as everyone considered her words. Then President Chen, now in her final term, stood up. 20 years ago, Earth stood alone against an empire. She said, "We survived because we dared to imagine a different future. Now we face a new unknown. Will we meet it with fear or with hope?" One by one, the leaders of the Alliance voiced their support. A plan began to take shape. Across the galaxy, beings of all species worked together to prepare for the greatest expedition in history. They built ships designed to withstand the impossible forces of the anomaly. They trained crews made up of the best and brightest from every world. On a small farm in Kenya, Amani, now a respected elder, met with a group of young aliens and humans. "When I was your age," he told them, "I never imagined I'd see the stars. Now you might be the first to see beyond our galaxy. Remember, no matter what you find out there, our strength is in our unity." In New York, Sarah walked through the bustling streets. Humans and aliens worked and lived side by side, a sight that still filled her with wonder. "We've come so far," she thought, "and we're about to go even further." As the day of the expedition approached, excitement built across the galaxy. Billions of beings watched as the fleet of exploration ships gathered near the anomaly. On the bridge of the lead ship, named Unity, stood a familiar face. Zix, once a young alien fascinated by humans, was now the captain of this historic mission. "All ships report ready, Captain," his first officer announced. Zix nodded, then opened a channel to the entire fleet. "My friends," he said, "we stand on the brink of a new age of discovery. Whatever lies beyond that vortex, we face it together, not as humans or aliens, but as explorers united in our quest for knowledge." Back on Earth, in the old command center where it all began, the original team gathered one last time. President Chen, Dr. Tanaka, Sarah, and the others watched the screens with bated breath. "It's hard to believe how far we've come," Sarah said softly. Dr. Tanaka smiled. "And just think how far we might go." As they watched, the ships of the expedition moved towards the swirling vortex. The anomaly pulsed, its energies reaching out as if to welcome them. In that moment, the whole galaxy held its breath. No one knew what lay beyond. New wonders, new challenges, new forms of life beyond imagination. Whatever awaited them, they would face it the way they had faced every challenge since Earth first defied an empire. together. The ships entered the vortex one by one, disappearing in flashes of light. As the last ship vanished, President Chen turned to her old friends, tears in her eyes but a smile on her face. "You know," she said, "I have a feeling our story is just beginning." And as the anomaly pulsed one last time before closing, the galaxy waited, united in hope and wonder, for news of what lay beyond. The age of Earth standing alone was long gone. Now, a united galaxy stood ready to embrace a universe of endless possibilities. The greatest adventure of all was just beginning.